report a murder or dead body, press 1.
Fucking stairs.
Why don't you come and have a seat with me?
Look it up. Expired in altercation with inmate number 419.
Punishment without love behind it, you'll come out worse.
Who are you people? Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, you have a great background. I freaking love it.
What's going on, Polaris? Jeff in Las Vegas. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Not only do I dig your name, it was my favorite class of submarine when I was a kid.
I didn't know if it was the submarine or just the missiles that they shot out to kill people. I didn't know.
I think they called them Polaris class or George Washington class. There was a different ones, but what a great name. You got it, Polaris Banks. That's such very hip.
Thank you. Yeah, people ask like, where did your parents come up with that name? And I was like, it's just a star. It's not like from a culture or something,
It's too cool though. Well, thanks for talking to me today about your short film, REKLAW. That's a place in Texas, isn't it?
Yes. So strangely, it's hard to name characters. You kind of have to, limit yourself to just names of people who you went to high school with or something. And my movie takes place in Texas, and I was like, I'll just name everybody after a Texas city, which is what I usually do for foreign characters. If they're from the Ukraine, I just look up a Ukraine map and go, Garkov, that's his name, I was going through naming all the characters, first and last names, Wiley, Texas, Lott, Texas, Donna, Texas. And I saw REKLAW and I was like, oh, that's cool. REKLAW. It's like wrecking the law. What's that? And I looked it up and it's Walker backwards because there was already a REKLAW, Texas, and they wanted to keep the name. So they just reversed it, to be stubborn. And I thought Walker, that's like when you get out of jail, you walk, he's going to walk. And I was like, okay, I'll force this to work. And then I realized I could use it for the postcard that they give them as their kind of get out of jail free
That's
card
too cool.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, tell me about the premise of your short film.
So it's about a team. Well, I guess it's led by a guy who's been a prosecutor his whole life, and he's been in the justice system. And at the towards twilight years, he realizes how it's all been a mistake, that the criminals are coming out worse than they came in. And technically, it'd be better to rehabilitate them, but we're not doing that. And the worst thing to do is to make them come out more, vulnerable and dangerous to others. So kind of right now, until the system's reformed, he should just let people out and let God sort it out or whatever. So he just indiscriminately forgives every one of their crimes. He intercepts 911 calls and goes there, and he has a team of other people he's gotten out of prison, and they just destroy evidence, put it all in a chest, get rid of it, and then give a little postcard to the person who committed the crime if they're at the scene. That gives them instructions on how to get away with it, how to report the body missing, or when to, so it's kind of about radical forgiveness. And of course, that is a very tricky premise that is going to get very hinky if anybody walks in on them, or they destroy evidence for someone who's particularly heinous and the group disintegrates or something. So our short kind of explores one of the worst case scenarios that could happen to them in their cleanup.
Literally, he gives them a get out of jail free card is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, the leader of this group is Lance Hendrickson, and what a score, man. I mean, he is just a legend.
Oh my gosh.
And it's funny because his character stands out from the whole ensemble, because everyone else is either wimpy or cowardly or comic relief or a tough guy. He seems to be the voice of reason, or he's just trying to forward his agenda while nobody else seems to be on board.
Yeah, it's strange that I surrounded him, who's this pillar of, he's searching for the truth and he wants to do the right thing. And he's surrounded by people he's gotten out of jail. So they're not all as altruistic as him. They feel a debt to him, or they like him, or they feel like he's family. If he got them out early, like the Donna character, that's her backstory. She was taken from an institution at an early age, and he's kind of her surrogate father now. But they are not as on board. So they're like, there's a tenuous relationship between his philosophy and and them, and it disintegrates pretty quickly when they get into a sticky situation.
Yeah, and he has to remind them, what their philosophy is in the middle of a guy trying to kill them, in the worst possible scenario.
Exactly.
And tell me about those glasses. Those were really creepy. Where'd you find those?
So I was watching an episode of The Simpsons when I was a kid, and I don't know if you remember it, but they're doing Homer's on a jury, and like I'm listening to every word, and he keeps taking these glasses that have fake eyes on them and puts them on and like, give me those. And I asked my mom, I was like, what are those? And she's like, we had those as kids. You know, they're like little novelty items, and I looked them up. They're called fake eye specs, and they have a little circle in the middle so you can see through them. I don't know what the point of them were, but they kind of look funny, and they're a real thing that you can buy, and they're kind of an old-fashioned item. And I gave the whole movie kind of a throwback vibe. It looks kind of 50s-ish, kind of, you know, maybe like a diner or like a, you know, Flintstones vibe. And it kind of, I wanted to contrast old America and old values with kind of new ideas and breaking that up of what justice is and who the bad guys and good guys are. And so I was, when you're making a heist movie of any kind, it's always, that's the fun part. Like, what mask are they going to wear? And when I came across the glasses, I was like, this is going to be iconic. And it also, I thought about how people black out their eyes. And, you know, you saw that a lot in Parasite and stuff. And I realized that that's such a minor way that you can, you know, just cover the eyes to distort your identity. And that's kind of where I also took it from, was that inspiration of seeing the redacted eyes.
Well, your budget for this was what, $200,000? It looks like it's all up there on screen. You know, well done with that. The lighting was amazing. The sound mixing was excellent. I noticed during the battles in the kitchen, you know, all the sound effects and everything. So I thought it was really excellent. How did you raise almost $250,000? It could have been easy.
I should have done a Kickstarter or asked for investment, but I hadn't made a movie since I was 22. My last movie I spent a bunch of money on, and it took me a while to finish post. And I didn't have the confidence to ask other people to give me a handout. So I had a friend who was doing research studies, and he said, you can make like 300 a day, you know, you get locked in these facilities for several weeks, and they will, you know, you'll make thousands of dollars at a time, but it's kind of like volunteering for prison, medical prison. And I just started doing that as many times as I could a year back to back. And it took me 5 years, and I would work on the screenplay while I was in there. And then I would work on pre-production and casting while I was in there. And I was just kind of locked up over and over doing this, getting my blood drawn and taking, you know, pills. You don't have a lot of side effects. They're usually just generic forms of FDA approved drugs. Some of them are pretty wild, you know, spinal taps and stuff, but I did it for 5 years. And the only time I stopped was to build the set for 6 months, and I shot it, and then I went right back to research studies. Now that I have the film, I am more confident to approach investors and studios, and I've had a couple studios be like, okay, I'll check out your movie. But it's a great work sample now that I have the confidence, and I got into South by Southwest, which gave me the confidence to be like, check this out. You'll want to see this, you know? Oh,
absolutely. Now, because, you know, for making a short film, it's just a calling card or a business card for a stepping stone. Exactly. And your film was slick. It was entertaining. The production values was all up there. So all those spinal taps and blood draws, you know, they were worth it, dude. That's a great story to tell, you know, one day when you're further in your career. So it's fantastic. Well, congratulations, Polaris. And I wish you all the luck at the festival this year, and come visit us in Las Vegas, man. We'd love to have you.
I was just telling my wife that we got to go back. She loves Las Vegas. She's Israeli, so she's like, she loves the desert. So we got to get back there.
We got lots of it, so come on out.
Well, thanks for having me. It was great talking to you.
You bet. Take care and good luck.
You too. Bye.